Number 321 from Eureka in their Masters of Cinema series is The Sons of Great Bear, an Indiana film, another movie from the DEFA catalogue, and something else that's really interesting to discover. It's all about a chief who is murdered for refusing to betray his people. His son Tokihito leads a bold uprising against white settlers and military betrayal. Fighting for land, dignity and freedom, the tribe risks everything in a defiant journey across hostile frontier lands. East Germany's answer to the Westerns flips the script. This time the Native Americans are the heroes. And it's all the more interesting and better because of that. Now, first up when I put this disc on, I thought the transfer was pretty good, not great. The landscapes were wonderful, and it really did fit into all those Western movies that I had seen, all the cowboys in the West, Wild West tales. This looked the part. It has this wonderful opening sequence. It's a cold opening where we see a tense saloon encounter that is almost the catalyst for everything that follows on from it. The greed of the white man, particularly personified here by Red Fox, and it's witnessed by Tokihito, two men that will become the antagonist and protagonist of the film.
Können wir Gast an deinem Feuer sein?
Dein Messer, das meinen Vater getötet hat, wird nicht in meinem Zelt Büffellende schneiden.
DEFA here reclaims the colonial narrative. White settlers are the aggressive. Native Americans are dignified, they're tragic heroes. It's flipping the typical Western tropes. Tokihito emerges not as a caricature, but as a symbol of resistance. And I found that to be the most fascinating element of this. It's a tale that I have seen before in various guises throughout different movies. But this twisting and changing of the shape and form of something that I am used to seeing was really interesting and offering a different perspective. You're having all these tales of the Wild West, of cowboys versus Native Americans, but it's all done from one point of view. And here we have DEFA reclaiming that and making something very different. Now, it is rather bloodless as it goes along. People will die and will be shot or will be slashed, and you never see any kind of blood effects whatsoever, but it doesn't really lessen the impact of the movie. The story of Tokihito is a really fun one to go along. You know, he is distrusting of the white man. He sees betrayal in everything that they do. In fact, we see it as well as they cajole, as they lie, as they rob and steal from these indigenous people of the lands. It's horrifying. It's horrifying to see the subjugation, and you can understand Tokihito's rise of rage and revenge against these people who are subjugating their people and taking great joy in it. There's also some wonderful aspects to it as well, particularly the whole idea of the Great Bear. And the bear is both a tribe totem and a spiritual guide for these people. They are called the Sons of the Great Bear. They, at one point, do a pilgrimage to get some answers. And as the bear dies, it has its cup. And the way they interpret that information, it becomes a sort of metaphor for rebirth, cultural continuity and survival against the colonising forces. You know, it's a wonderful aspect, and it shows that this isn't just a typical movie that's there to entertain, but it has something interesting to say. It has reflections on the past and how things were dealt and how these people have been maligned, and it really builds up this wonderful story while still keeping it an entertaining and pulpy Western film at the same time.
Die große Bärin ist tot, aber sie hat uns ihr Kind gegeben. Das ist ein neues Leben. Und wir werden einen neuen Weg.
Now, of course, there are some thematics that has come from Germany into this one as well. You can see our character, or the story, kind of aligns with social values. Tokihito refuses individual greed. aiming instead for communal sovereignty and equality. He is athletic, he's sober, anti-alcohol almost. He shuns it, pushes it away at every chance he gets. He's disciplined, collective leadership and anti-colonial resistance. I mean, I think we can see where that has all come from, and it's a wonderful way of putting that into the movie. I was really surprised by The Sons of Great Bears because it is, first and foremost, a really entertaining Native American versus Western influences kind of movie. And it has the shootouts, the chases, the wonderful action set pieces, the fight sequences, but there is more within this film. When you scratch below the surface, you're finding these thematics that sort of break a reflection on the actual time and the truth of what actually happened. The introduction of the sort of political climate of East Germany at the time, the way that gets pushed into the film as well, is wonderful, and it never feels forced and it never feels heavy-handed. It just feels naturally there, and it's something you can either pick out of the film or disregard if you want. Great looking, great entertainment, a really fun film, and one that has bowled me over again. The 2K restoration is pretty good. The rich colour is wonderful. I do love these kind of vibrant, almost uncanny valley colours that come out of these movies. You know, it seems like real life, but it's kind of skewed a little bit. And of course, this being Eureka, we have a wealth of extras on the disc, so let's dive in and have a look. Here we are in the disc for The Sons of the Great Bear. We have the film with the original German audio. We have an audio commentary by Jenny Barrett. World Wide West, Austin Fisher on The Sons of the Great Bear in a global context. This runs for 60 minutes 32 seconds. It goes into a brief history of DEFA, into the Indiana film, and then how this one really encapsulated the opposite kind of spirit of the American Westerns and how it hit big as a global scale. Next we have Homelands, German Indian Enthusiasm and The Sons of Great Bear by Lee Broughton. This is 26 minutes 42 seconds and focuses more on the depiction of the Native Americans in the film. They are living, what they did to get by, how their little communities worked. And then we have The Eyewitness from 1965. It's an archival newsreel. It runs for 10 minutes 29 seconds. And although a lot of it isn't about The Sons of the Great Bear, the final segment really hammers home all about this movie. Also included in this set is a 20-page booklet, and we have the essay A Marxist Western, The Sons of the Great Bear and DEFA's West by Mariana Ivanova. And that's the extras for The Sons of the Great Bear. There we have it, Sons of the Great Bear. The next one in the Masters of Cinema series. I really enjoyed this one. At first, when I looked at the movie and I looked at the trailer, I was wondering, how did this fit into the Masters of Cinema series? Having seen it, I can understand it. I think it's great, and one that I would thoroughly recommend. I'd love to know your thoughts on The Sons of Great Bear, so let me know in the comment box below whether you love it, hate it, or fall somewhere in the mid. As always, there is more content up here. You can see more of my stuff. In the description box are links to Patreon, membership program, manvyfilm.com always, and make sure you can support me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.